I went out and searched after a user and commenter here colorfully suggested that everything about my St. Pat's jersey was wrong, and he was correct. I went out on a deep dive on the internet on how to strip a professionally customized jersey. And despite all the warnings of what would happen if I tried to attempt it, me and my confidence in ignoring everything everybody says on the internet went out and did just that. And what do you think?
It didn't go well.
It didn't go well. No.
Ooh.
Here's where we're at, fellas.
Now rotate back a little. Let's see that. Yeah, what number was on that jersey?
Number 2.
You can tell.
So,
with that box of a number, I wouldn't have expected. I mean, if you could put a single digit over top, you get away with it. But
it was the stitch into the felted box.
And the box was glued onto the jersey.
So now I wear it around the house to lounge in.
A lounge. Oh, there's another showdown lounge jersey. New idea for a show segment. Next on Ugly Thirds.
Welcome back, sports fans, to another episode of Ugly Thirds. Today's topic is the 2002 St. Pat's rating rarities. Johnny Traps, take it away.
You can tell how much he loved the show title.
He didn't practice.
Well, and people don't. With dental work done, some things to say are harder
dental
to
plan.
say with the your missing teeth and like people don't understand. Like a tooth makes a big deal when you're talking it for certain letters. And I have problems to begin with. So, take it away, boys.
You do have problems. I'll give you that. So, we have a lot of rare jerseys, things that people go out and try to find. I mean, we've sought out most of these. That's really the point of most of our collections, I would think. And we've mentioned them in some of our episodes, and usually that gets the biggest look anyways. And if we get questions on them, they're about those jerseys.
Yep.
So, we wanted to find a way to highlight and talk about more of these things. It started as a buyer's guide, but people like lists. We like giving opinions. This gives us a structure for opinions. And I created scoreboards for our various things. Phil, can we jersey cam and pan across our ideas from the blank one over? So we have appearance, noticeability, the number kit, the rarity of the jersey, and the value of it. And so we're going to have a 50-point scale, an average between us. We have not talked about our ratings. I have not actually gone through and rated. But let's do this and look at one important jersey and tell us if you like this kind of idea. Because there's lots of options. So, before they were the Toronto Maple Leafs, they were the Toronto St. Pat's in order to try and appeal to the large Irish population of Toronto. And bring in more people to watch the team.
Sure.
When they were bought by Conn Smythe, he changed to the Maple Leaf, naming them after the patch on his uniform in the Great War, and they have been that ever since. On the 75th anniversary of retiring the name St. Pat, so this was March 2nd, 2002, the Toronto Maple Leafs wore this jersey for one game against Buffalo, a 3-3 tie. And they wore brown pants and brown helmets, and the socks were the normal Toronto socks with all the stripes, but in green. Like, they did a really, really good job with this.
And this is before you have the internet and NHL jerseys and the ability to go back and see what this looked like. Like, fans were probably seeing this for the first time. Unless you were spending serious time at the Hockey Hall of Fame, you are seeing this jersey on ice for the first time. And the internet wasn't what it is today back then.
No, it existed. There were some proto versions of these things, and you'd see the occasional, usually a picture of Matt Sundin is the one that shows up.
That is the one that I've always.
And so you find that look. No, it's not Matt Sundin.
So much
that this almost became urban legend. With how rare and it was one game. And they did not merchandise this near as much as anyone would have thought.
For sure.
It's certainly not what happens today with we're wearing this for 3 special things, or we're wearing this for 1 outdoor game, and there's only a limited amount, so buy now because they're going to value up. They just, here's a bunch of them. and they disappeared.
We had, when we talked about those 95 third jerseys, the idea that jerseys in people's closets are now going to be a thing because they want to go out and get the Wild Wing, or they want to go out and get the Pooh Bear because it's cool and it's mid 90s and everything's screen printed and or computer generated, and
Yep.
it's a lot of fun. This was a number of years later. This was 7 years later. It's a CCM vintage. I'm wondering if they were wearing CCM or Coho at that time, or what was worn during that game. Was it a CCM? Like, if you were to go out and get
Good to find the game worn one,
right, just as a reference, and if somebody happened to have a computer,
Not with me, but I can go get one.
no. Oh, you can't search on that thing.
No, because he's using the iPad now as Jersey Cam.
The worst. No, don't worry about it, Phil. No.
I could actually probably try to web search.
But the idea of, like, this is a CCM vintage. This is not the actual ones that they wore. So
Right.
were they CCMs?
What
or
year
were
was
they
it again?
Cohos?
Oh, I think I
This
found
is
one.
2002.
It says game worn goalie jerseys,
That's the one.
and it is CCM.
Is it Potvin?
Schwab.
Corey Schwab. Corey Schwab. Yeah.
And it's so it's a 58G, and it has your standard made in Canada tag.
Yeah, that's
But
it.
that's that, and so
CCM though?
it is CCM.
Okay. So
this is obviously it's the retail replica,
right.
which I don't know if they came out and made this particular one later. There
It's
were some times when they would rehash and reprint these,
Yeah.
but it was like what I would give for there to be a year by year catalog of jerseys that they make and sell.
Yeah.
Just to know what was made. So if I'm looking at something and like, well, is it fake? And be like, well, they never actually made one. CCM never like produced these.
Right.
But I've never, and every so often I'll find new ones that like I don't ever remember seeing that, and yet it's everything about it looks legit. So
one game, 2002, when jersey collecting is starting to take off.
Yeah. I would by 2002 I definitely had a handful of jerseys.
Likewise.
I was looking for let me get my favorite team jersey that wasn't just what I'm wearing the Penguins.
And that's when eBay started to really take off.
I think that's when I started my eBay account.
100%. I started mine in 2001.
Sending money orders through the post office.
Yep. I sent cash through the mail to buy CDs from
cash.
eBay. I know.
Dangerous.
But the idea that jersey accessibility was starting to become more of a thing. Like, you didn't have to be in Toronto at a game to buy this jersey.
Yeah.
It's possible that it was available secondhand on eBay or something like that.
There was an auction for one. Alexander McGillney. Yeah, McGillney. Sorry, I can't talk. Starting bid was 150. What was the guess? The final bid was
1,500.
3,000.
No.
For the game worn one of those?
Game worn. It says game worn. Has a team letter with it. It says 2002 game jersey.
So what is it?
The final price was $626.
For that's a steal.
That was a steal.
When was the auction?
It actually does not say.
Usually, if it's the website I'm thinking of, it says at the top.
GameWarnAuctions.com.
Yeah.
2008.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Yeah.
That's right at the recession. So
yeah. The collar tag is it CCM still?
There's no tag on it. Has a little Canadian.
So yeah, it's the same one I just looked up.
Yep.
Okay, so this one's Ty Domi, which I love that it's not the Mad Sunday because that's the one people get. I bought this in the height of COVID. A guy wanted 150. I dickered him down to 100. And
get out.
No, I got this for $100. I think it's an absolute steal.
Jeez.
And if we can jersey cam in here and get it on the crests. I wish we could do. Yeah, I missed that SLR. Each one is individually stitched. Yeah,
that's clever.
The little raised T for Saint with the period.
That's clever.
So each of these individual letters, they are stitched. Any fakes I've seen get the sizing of the stripes wrong. It does end right at the bottom under St. Pat's, and it starts above Toronto. So do pay attention there. The stripe does stop, which is usually my big pet peeve. But and I don't think they did on the sweaters that had these.
I don't mind this though, that it just stops right there.
It's an awfully
to go all
blank
the way
back.
around.
And then the sleeves are completely blank.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is based on, and shame on me for not looking this up initially. But what they wore in the 1920, probably 1924.
But to do these one-offs back in this time period, like
Unheard of. Unheard of.
No,
This
no.
is 1920, 21. No, excuse me, 26, 27.
Okay. So, but to do this back then, to give context to what we're about to do, like one game, limited availability. I don't know if NHL Shop was a thing back then. I don't think they're doing authentics in these. I think it's either game worn or it's a replica.
Right.
So your run is extremely limited at that point too.
Okay, so our categories. We start with appearance. How does the jersey look? Right? Is this something that is a good aesthetic look? Something you want to see? Noticeability. Just because it's rare doesn't mean it's obvious that it's rare, or like only a trained eye would notice. Oh, that's the interesting rare one.
Right.
Number kit is the quality of the numbers. Is it interesting? This is really your wheelhouse because all of yours are customized.
Yeah.
And then the rarity. How hard is it to find one of these things? And what should you expect to pay for one of these right now in 2024?
Yep.
That's the ideas, and it's going to be out of 50, and then we'll average our numbers together. Phil, our resident math teacher, is going to take care of that for us.
Start with appearance.
Start with appearance. So I think there is nothing wrong with this aesthetically. I don't think it's going to like jump off of like, oh my god, our top 10 lists. I'm between a 6 and a 7.
I was initially going to put a 6, and I'm going to stick to a 6 just because.
So I'm going to match you because like it's nice, but there's a whole lot better you can do. And this, when you wear this on St. Patrick's Day, it's amazing. But outside of that, there's a lot of like, why?
Yeah, and I think the history is still not a thing in the NHL. That you have so much storied history with these jerseys, and you bring them back, but you don't explain why they're back.
Mm-hmm.
They came back again a second time around. They were worn. They were in an era where you could pick one of these up. You can pick up 5 of them easily. Like there wasn't a shortage of them, but back then, a little bit of a different story. But it's fine. Like you're throwing back to a time when nobody was thinking about jersey designs.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely.
So it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. So noticeability. If you're wearing this out in public, or most especially at a game, are people going to notice you?
In Toronto?
Yes.
Yes.
I think this is a perfectly noticeable 8. I think if you go to this, you're going to see it and you're going to be good.
I'm going one better.
Wow.
Because you are a blue and white team, you are standing out in a sea of blue and white in this thing.
Okay. I'll buy that.
Yeah.
I mean, you have these now. You're not going to get confused with the modern ones. They're very different.
No, this is very, very different. And I think a little bit better than the ones that we have. Although I do like the number kit on the.
I like the number kit on that a whole lot better.
I'd show it to you, but I don't know what happened.
You don't have it to hold up. Okay, so here, it is a very chunky zigzag, which I don't think we can zoom in enough to do it. It is a very plain block number.
I can try.
You can try. Yeah, not really. The edges of it is a very wide zigzag, which if you're watching my loose threads, you might have a better thought on that. There is nothing special going on here. In fact, I think I'm going to go with a 4. It's fine. It's not bad.
It's fine,
but it's not good.
No, but again, we're throwing back to a time when nobody cared. Nobody's doing reverse kiss cut jerseys back in the 1920s. It serves the purpose.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And they added a nameplate, which they obviously wouldn't have had then.
Right.
But they
that would have been
NH-
something.
And they did omit nameplates for one. It was an anniversary of the Maple Leaf Garden, I think.
You're right.
So they could, and they didn't. That would have elevated that to at least a 6.
Yeah.
It would have been unique.
In a time where people are starting to buy jerseys, nobody's going to buy a jersey with just a number and no nameplate on the back.
I mean, you look how many the Yankees have never worn names on their back, and how many retail jerseys have a name on the back. It's a lot, because people want to see a name on the back.
Fair.
Okay, so rarity. How easy is this to get today?
is in rarity, like the higher up the number, the
The
harder
more,
it is
the harder
to
it
get.
is to get. Yes.
Okay. Just because I've seen it, but not frequently. They do come up from time to time.
I think
went
there's
with an
2
8.
on eBay right now.
Okay.
I think. If you're willing to go for the sweater version, you can definitely find that as well.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, they made a sweater, and that's a later Heritage Vintage Series thing. You can get them if you're willing, especially if you're willing to pay like full retail prices. You can get them. Mine was a steal.
Yeah,
but you can definitely get them.
I haven't searched for a while. Nobody from Buffalo or ended up on Buffalo played in that game. Like I don't have a reason to get it. I get a blank, but I don't look. But they stand out when they are on there.
Anyone from Buffalo play on those Toronto teams back in then they were St. Pat's? Like not from Buffalo, like the hockey teams, but from Buffalo, the city.
Oh, very clever. I have to go back and check now.
That could be interesting.
Very,
Any
very
Americans on that team? Well, I guess it's probably unlikely, but maybe you never know. Maybe they played on the Buffalo Bison or Americans.
That's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good thought process.
And then finally, the value, and our value is tied to various amounts. How much should you expect to pay for these? And I can tell you about where they're at as far as what I've seen and what's being asked for. What basically what you should expect. I feel you're at about $200. Let's switch it to 5.
Yeah, I was slightly elevated from that. And I'm putting this in context of other jerseys we're gonna do in this
Start
series.
adding, Phil.
I have it done.
Oh,
Whoa! Rayman
wow,
over
okay.
here. Mr. Holland's Opus has got it figured out, doesn't he?
It's called Google Spreadsheets.
Oh, fair enough. But the idea that the ones coming up in this series like are gonna far exceed this.
Oh yeah.
I think it's priced moderately. You can get one if you're a collector. You're not going to be overpaying for it.
No, you're paying full Adidas prices.
Yeah,
which I don't like to do.
No,
but I think most people are like, I don't see a problem with that if that's what I really want. Yeah. So for this, get out if you want to go look for a Toronto St. Pat's, that's the things to look for. Nice easy numbers on the back. Don't get duped by a fake. And Phil, have you figured out our final numbers on this?
Well, you want average or sum?
Average.
So average Shrem's 6.8. I rounded to 1 decimal place.
Oh no, out of 50.
Out of 50.
So add them together and average our 2 scores together. So what's Shrem's total? I guess we should have explained that because we wanted a 50-point scale. Is
we told each other. How did he not know?
So wait, you want me to add his and yours,
and then average the 2 together. What did Shrem's?
His sum was 28. Yours is 25.
So 26 and a half.
So you want the average of your 2 sums together.
Yes.
Just make sure you do 26.5.
What?
26.5.
Woo! Mental math. I can do it. I still got it.
So this is kind of almost like the average
rare jersey. Yeah, because
okay.
if you're buying something off the shelf or NHL.com, you're getting in the tens at the most.
Yep.
That's the point of this list.
Yeah.
Right. So at a 26.5, this is a very good benchmark rare jersey. You're middle of the road on rarity.
Yep.
Good.
Glad we did this one first.
Yeah, I think it's a good benchmark, a bellwether, if you will. So first and foremost, do you like this kind of episode? We have a lot more ideas and ones we can do, but is this something you're into? Number 1, please tell us in the comments. And number 2, do you have one of these? Have you gotten one? What's your experience? And do you remember this game? So, he's Shrems. I'm John. Phil, take us out.
Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, hit the bell to get notifications when new videos are posted, and come back for another episode of Ugly Thirds.
Haidomi. Like, as the kids say, I'm triggered. The fan base is triggered right now. And it's me. I'm the fan base.